So you guys remember James Franco? He was at the Rome Film Festival just today for the launch of his film Hey Joe, a drama in which James plays Dean, an alcoholic American World War II vet in search of a son he fathered in Naples after leaving for New Jersey.
I have a son. So I'm here. I came to find him.
Now he is back for his first fest circuit since 2019 after taking a break and settling his lawsuit, paying over a whopping $2 million to settle with his accusers. Now the classic film Disaster Artist came out in December of 2017.
$5 million? And they are not grateful. Nobody respects my vision.
The success of this film nearly doubling the gross profit of the budget of $10 million. And then in January of 2018, accusations started flooding in against James from women who took his acting class, alleging that he essentially exploited women, held career opportunities over them for it, making them do very intimate and above beyond things on camera, and using his power to bless them with more career opportunities.
It was a lot of nudity and sex scenes that I felt were not artistically justified and were added in after the fact.
Now, in one of these films, James allegedly performed oral on these women in a 4G scene. One accuser saying he removed a clear plastic guard that covered their vagines and continued to simulate the S act with no protection. There were also accusations of him sleeping with the students.
I did sleep with students. I didn't sleep with anybody in that particular class, but over the course of my teaching, I did sleep with students. And that was wrong.
His justification being consent.
At the time, my thinking was, if it's consensual, okay.
Admitting that it wasn't really a cool thing.
Yeah, it's probably not a cool thing. At the time, I was not clear-headed.
Now, back in 2018 on Seth Meyers, he did claim that some of the accusations he read online weren't accurate.
Well, the ones I read were not accurate.
And then the rest of the interview, he basically says he's going to shut up and listen to the women and that it's an important conversation to be had and he's going to step aside and listen.
This is a conversation that obviously needs to be had. There are people, women and others who have not been a part of this conversation. And I truly believe, and why I was wearing the pin, is that they need to be a part of this conversation. So I support that.
I'm going to pause. Did not seem like the right time to say anything. There were people that were upset with me and I needed to listen.
Now, there was a plethora of other weird incidents. In 2014, a 17-year-old girl posts screenshots of alleged messages between her and Franco on Instagram. Franco then being 35 and tried to basically meet up with her in a hotel room, sending pictures to prove it's him. Now, Franco was on Live with Kelly and Michael admitting his mistake back in 2014.
What I've learned, I guess just because I'm new to it, it's like you don't know who's on the other end. So I use bad judgment and I learned my lesson.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, dude. Now, after the hotel incident, Seth Rogen and James Franco were both on SNL in 2014, and Seth Rogen just straight up cracks a joke about the hotel thing. In retrospect, it was kind of a weird thing.
I decided to prank James Franco. I posed as a girl on Instagram, told him I was way young. He seemed unfazed. I have a date to meet him at the Ace Hotel.
So we had the 2014 hotel incident, the 2018 actress accusations, and suddenly there was a lot of pressure on James' closest collaborator, Seth Rogen, for basically downplaying these things and still being friends with them.
Kind of in a hurry, man. I don't know if we should start going down that road. It's just...
And much like that scene in Pineapple Express, Seth took off. In 2021, Seth explaining to the Sunday Times that he doesn't plan on working with James Franco after the sexual misconduct allegations. And now we get to a Variety interview as of today with James Franco, to where he was hit with a few questions regarding all this stuff. The first question being, how does he feel about being casted out of Hollywood and whether it was unfair? To which James said, I mean, it is what it is. I've honestly moved past it. It was dealt with and I got to change. So that's it. It's over. I mean, I've worked in the US too, so I'm just trying to move on. Then being asked about his snub for an Oscar on The Disaster Artist, which came out right before these allegations. James saying, what I really found is I don't want it to sound like platitudes, but honestly, this is my experience. Sometimes life delivers things to you and the delivery system is so painful. It hurts. Yeah, I felt really proud of that performance in The Disaster Artist, and okay, I wasn't nominated. Yeah, that hurt. But ultimately, from the big picture that I'm talking about, maybe it's for the best. Who am I to say? When I was functioning in that workaholic mode, a lot of it was just my young self's version of what a good life was, and I got pulled out of that. And finally, folks, he was asked about his ex-friend Seth Rogen. Variety asks, are you still in touch with Seth Rogen? To which James said, no, I haven't talked to Seth. I love Seth. We had 20 great years together, but I guess it's over. And not for lack of trying. I've told him how much he's meant to me. Now, to conclude, the whole thing is honestly just sad. I mean, James made a lot of missteps in his career, things that have most definitely permanently damaged his image. And just looking back at the history of Seth and James, their duo was like none other. James was this handsome dude that was in Spider-Man. Seth Rogen's this more chunkier comedic stoner guy. Just their pairing was so abstract and random at the time. And it really made for some magical films in the earlier 2000s. Those are some of my top tier movies. I can understand why Seth took that path, and James has pretty much owned up to all of this and has been objectively very mature about it all. I just think James has like an addiction problem with sexual activity and being around women. Probably already done this, but I think he needs to just remove himself from the dating game, kind of get his ducks in a row and figure out what's going on here. I truly do think there's room for a redemption arc, whether people like to hear that or not. I know some people are set in stone and that's fine, but I don't know. I think the man could get a second chance. That's just my opinion, but let me know what you guys think, and ta-ta for now.